Hey everybody, we thought it'd be a fun way to end the year by doing a countdown of our top listings for the year. And so before we get into that, I just want to thank all of our clients for entrusting us with the buying and selling process of the most expensive asset that they own, their home. We are so grateful to have so many people trust us. We actually had twice as many listings this past year as we did the year before, and we had incredibly great outcomes. So it's fun to share some of our top ones with you here as we wrap up the year. When I first got into real estate, the average list to sales price ratio was 97%. So, and that was considered a seller's market at the time, that you could, 38 days on market on average and still sell your home within 3% of the list price. Well, obviously in 2022, we were doing a lot better than that. It's gone up to, for the entire year collectively, it was 102%. And our team came through with actually 110%. So we were actually 8% higher than the MLS average. So we're really proud of that. We worked really, really hard to do that. And then additionally, we had some sellers who really bought into our process and worked really hard as well. So kudos to all of our sellers. We're gonna get into our top ones right now. So at honorable mention is 141 East Railroad Street in Verona. This one is near and dear to me because I actually used to live in the Main Street condos on Railroad Street. And so this was a former neighbor who reached out, and we listed at 230,000, ended up selling at 270,000. And not only did we break the record for the Main Street condos by 20,000, we actually could have gone much, much higher. We actually had several offers higher than that, but ultimately a neighbor put in that offer and it was very, very clean. And so that one was good enough for an honorable mention on this list. Okay, so now number 5 was 46 South Gardens Way. And this one was listed at 290,000 and ended up selling for 312,000. And this was not peak of the market. This was in July. So this is when a lot of agents were stressing out that their listings weren't selling right away and that they were getting below ask offers due to the interest rates being as high as they were at that time. We talked through the process and I was still pretty confident that we were going to have a good outcome with this one. We listed at 290,000 and the record for the building was 300,000 and we ended up getting 312,000, and the seller was super happy about that, especially because I actually talked her out of selling the year before because it sounded like she was going to stay in the area for a while. And I said, no, stay in your place. Don't sell yet. If you're going to be in the area for another year, let's wait. And so she's really glad that she did. Her property value's gone up a lot in that year. So that was a really awesome one. Okay, so number 4 is 9 Berkeley Circle. This one was such a great one for a variety of reasons. We listed at 475 and we got 562,000. But here's the kicker. They had just purchased it 1 year earlier for 435,000 in 2021. So they were 87,000 above list, but 127 more than what they purchased it for a year earlier. And it's well higher than anything that has ever sold in that neighborhood. So we felt really, really good about that one. And kudos to those guys and the work that they put in to make that such a successful sale. Okay, number 3, 601 Edgewood Ave in Madison. So this one, Edgewood Avenue, is right by Monroe Street in the West Lawn neighborhood. And I've listed a few homes over in that area. This one by far exceeded all the expectations we had for it. We listed at 550,000 and sold for 675,000, $125,000 above asking price. What was really unique about this one is shortly, like within a couple days of signing the listing agreement, the sellers reached out to me and said, "Hey, a neighbor's friend actually approached us, and they sound like they're willing to pay us $50,000 above our list price. Should we take it?" And so we had that discussion. I actually called a handful of agents that had recent listings in the neighborhood, and based on the information that I had, I was like, well, we can do that. However, I think you can get a lot more if we open up the competition to everybody. Ultimately, they trusted that process. We upset the potential buyer in the process. They ended up going away and not coming back. But we did get multiple competing offers. And we had several offers that were well above ask. And of course, ended up taking one that was $125,000 above ask, which was really, really exciting. So number 2 is 207 North Marietta Street in Verona. So what was really awesome about this one is a family reached out and they were selling the home that they grew up in. So obviously there were some emotional ties there, and the property hadn't had much done to it in a while and needed some work. And so they were wondering, hey, what do we do? Do we just put it on the market the way it is? Should we do some improvements? If we do improvements, what should we do? So I walked them through the process, gave them several different options. Ultimately, they decided that they wanted to invest money into the property, and I got them in touch with all of my contractors. It was an extensive project. They ended up replacing a lot of stuff. They went way above and beyond. I think, if I remember correctly, they ended up spending $40,000 when we originally budgeted $30,000. But then they ended up, in the process, they ended up selling $60,000 above listed at $250,000, received $310,000. And not only that, it broke the price per square foot record in Verona, which was incredible. And they felt really, really good about that. I felt really good about that, that it all came together the way it did. So the number 1 listing for the year, drum roll please, it was 306 Ridgeview Trail in Verona. This one just took the cake. This one, for a variety of reasons, was our number 1 listing of the year. It was similar to Edgewood Ave. They were actually approached to a neighbor, actually before we had a listing agreement, and they just told me flat out, "Hey, Joff, if these neighbors, friends of ours, are willing to pay $625,000, we're gonna sell to them without using an agent." And ultimately, they were willing to come pretty close to that number, but not quite. And so they said, "Okay, let's list it." And so we did that. Now, also, their neighbor had just recently sold their place. Their next door neighbor that they shared a lot line with, so listed at $590 and got $590 with a home sale contingency. So they had to wait a few months to actually close. So on the flip side, we're trying to ask for like a really extended rent back situation. And so we ended up getting that, which was awesome. But additionally, listing for $625 and end up getting $750, $125K above ask. It was the highest resale in the city of Verona. And additionally, it was the highest above ask offer in the city of Verona ever. So between those listings that we just went over, 7 records broken. It was an incredible year. And this one really was the cherry on top. It was such an incredible offer, $125K above ask with a 60-day close with an additional 60-day rent back. And it was free, including the utilities were even free. So was pretty amazing offer, and so glad to be part of that and a part of all the hard work. All those sellers really bought in and bought into the process and did everything they could along with us to make it a successful sale. So anyways, looking forward to next year, looking forward to seeing how many more people we can help. And if, by all means, if you know somebody that could use our help, please reach out and let us know. But in the meantime, Happy New Year, happy 2023, and we will see you next year.